Good day, football world. This is the NV and Barz Podcast.
How are we doing today?
Yeah,
It's Saturday morning. It's a beautiful morning. It's not too warm. It's not too cold.
Exactly. It's
We have Everton versus Crystal Palace playing in the background.
yeah, we'll get you covered a little bit with the updates along the way and our
Mm-hmm.
feedback as the game unravels. It's again right now 1-0 Everton, 20th minute, and picking up kind of where we left off on the last session with Everton and how well they're playing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think you saw the first goal,
I
but
did not see it.
it was a great combination with Decore, James coming together from
Not
the
surprised.
byline.
Not super. Like we talked last time, they threw out their entire midfield, put them on the bench, and put a whole set, a
Right.
brand new set with James, Decore, and who am I missing? And Allen. Is he
That's
playing?
right. I didn't see. Oh yes, there he is. Allen's
Yeah.
playing, Richarlison's playing.
Yeah,
And-
Allen is such a great midfielder.
And the goal scorer again, Calvin Lewin. I think that's
Mhm.
he scored in all 3 games so far.
Yeah, he's like last year's Pookie.
Yeah. I
You
think
know?
I think it's his breakout season this year.
For sure. I mean, hopefully he can keep it up.
Yes.
You
He's
know?
he's a young player as well.
Very young.
Maybe he could be pushing within a couple of years.
English?
Kane. Yeah, he's
English, right?
He's
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. I don't think has he been playing for the national team?
If I'm not mistaken, he won the U21
U21.
World Cup. He scored the winner in the final.
Really?
Not mistaken, and I'll double check myself on that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he seems to be a great talent.
We always knew he had this potential, but he never performed, and now we finally
Right.
can see the results, which is amazing for him, and hopefully he can keep it up and fight for the top 4 spot.
Right. Because essentially that's what it comes down to. It's consistency.
Right.
And a Premier League season is 38 games long, and recently it's inconsistency over the past
Mhm.
couple of years for him. And now it looks at least, he's bringing it all together. And
The problem again, we're talking about week 3 round.
Right.
Right. It's week 3, so it's very early on. So we gotta wait because in England they have like the most ridiculous seasons. They have 3 cups, the league, and then in Europe they compete. So they have so
Right.
many games, so much pressure, so much stress, both physical and mental. So we'll have to keep tabs on him and see what's going on. But for right now, he's looking sharp.
Right, and you know what? As we started talking about the fact that it's just the start of the
Mhm.
season, and there's way more to come, we were saying that last weekend was going to be a big hurdle for Manchester City when they had to face off against the Wolves.
Yeah, first
Last
game.
year, well, hold on, I'm going to correct something. Last podcast we said it was 2-1 last year. It was actually 3-2 at Wolves,
Wolves.
and they made that comeback from 2-0 to 3-2.
Wolves
So-
did.
Wolves did,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
So
I remember
we were
that.
thinking it could be a big game that City could lose points at. They come away
Mhm.
with a +2 goal differential on the game with all 3 points.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that looking at the game that happened last week, Wolves were not there at all. The first half,
Right.
they didn't look like themselves.
Right.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, City really capitalized on that. I think the first goal was in the first half.
Yes.
City looked sharp again. They're missing Aguero, which is a big player for them, but they have Jesus, who is also very great.
That's right.
Talking from a Real Madrid's point of view, they hurt us a lot without Aguero. So they're still playing well. I think Torres came in the second half for a little bit, made a tiny
Right.
cameo. Didn't do anything drastic.
No, we were talking about him last time. We were saying he's a great talent, and
Yeah.
we're expecting at least flashes every now and then.
Yeah.
Not until he's had the opportunity to build a consistent base
Right.
and get to know his teammates, etc. in the league.
Right, but I said I think his problem is mentally,
Really.
not the soccer aspect, like not his skills. I think he has to humble up, and we'll see how Pep, how he corresponds to his actions and how the player actually behaves with the team. We know Pep is he has a strong hand, so we'll
Right.
see. Again, it's only his first game.
Just a cameo.
Yeah, City played again. I think the City's second half wasn't as strong as their first.
Right.
They did score, if I'm not wrong, in the second half, but I think they
Right.
sort of
And that winner 90th minute.
yeah, they sort of like let loose a little bit. They saw Wolves come back and they said, okay, we need to be careful.
Right.
We remember what happened last year because they were also away. So, in terms of how they looked overall, I think they looked good.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the second half, they didn't look good, and then they made the switch. And
Right.
they turned it back up again.
Yes, they have that. They have that switch.
Yeah.
And I think that it was a very telling performance
Mhm.
that they were able to edge it out. maybe you can put it to, it's early in the season.
Right.
Wolves didn't have fans in the
But
stadium.
they're also a good. Wolves is a good team. So
They're a good team.
So to withstand that pressure from Wolves in the second half, I think it wasn't as easy as it seemed to be.
You know what I would say? I would say that Tottenham made a great purchase from Wolves, which was Doherty.
Yeah.
And that left Wolves slightly exposed on the right side, where Sterling was attacking them a lot. And I think early in the first half, you saw he was putting a lot of pressure, making Traore go all the way back to cover. And this enabled City to push high up and not have Wolves break forward and relieve their defense. Allow a little bit of time to kind of transition and to build your game. So I think that was a big move, and where the formations kind of went in favor of Manchester City.
Right,
for me.
and they just bought Semedo.
Semedo, yes, which is very needed, even though 35 million for Semedo, would you ever pay something like that? It's going to rise to 45 potentially.
No, I wouldn't.
But
they needed a right back.
They needed a right back.
They needed someone.
I don't know. I think they sold the better right back of those two.
Right, but if let's say you don't mind the money, he's a decent pick, right? As a player, he's a decent pick, but would I pay that money for him? Probably not. But the question is, what else can they do? Like, who else can they possibly bring in? So, I don't know. We can't know, but.
So that's a good point, and I think, who else would they bring in?
Who else can they bring in?
Not can. Who would? And I think they can bring in.
If they could bring one. Okay, go ahead.
So they can bring in whole different options, but they seem to be pretty consistent on bringing in the Portuguese players.
Yeah.
And where are you going to find that many, talented right back Portuguese players that are going to fit into your locker room and as well as your play?
I don't know why they're so stressed on Portuguese players.
I think it's a very smart move actually, because when everybody communicates the same language and is on the same page, you can actually look back to Barcelona during their best years when they had their great runs. Every player spoke Spanish.
Right, but first of all, I don't know if there's rules in England on how many non-English players you can have on your team or even playing.
We'll look into that for the next podcast, and we'll confirm exactly what those rules are. I believe there are some, but you do have that ability if you'd like, right? Like any team, go out and get these international players.
Yeah, but even if everyone's Portuguese and you're the one English player in England playing in the English team, and no one speaks English, how does that make you feel? As someone who's been in the club before the coach was even there,
Right.
So, is it the right move? I don't think you should pick a player because of where they come from. I think if they fit the system, they fit the culture, and they're good players, I think why not?
Right.
But if you're decreasing your pool of players to Portuguese players, that already sets you to limitations.
And that's probably why they overpaid.
Probably.
Because, Barcelona knows.
If I was the owner, I'd tell the coach, like, listen, buddy, like, I don't think that's just how it works. This is not,
And I agree with you on that, because the next time they want a Portuguese player, everybody knows they want him also because he's Portuguese. And if your supply is limited, then prices will go up.
Like, again, their pool is so little.
Yeah, they're limiting themselves.
Exactly.
With that. All right, so maybe it's a good opportunity to go a little bit into the next topic. There were a bunch of games for the EFL Cup. Just to slightly touch up upon them, because I know that it's the EFL Cup. We're playing a lot of lower division sides, and the competition is not as great. We saw that with Chelsea facing off Barnsley. It was 6-0. I saw the highlights. I didn't see the game.
Kai Havertz hat-trick.
Kai Havertz hat-trick. I mean, if you saw the hat-trick, it was like...
I didn't see it.
It wasn't much of a trick. There was a hat, but there wasn't a trick. And it was very much Barnsley not being up to par in terms of standards and quality.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. In the EFL Cup game, you're playing your almost best 11 players.
You're not... Yeah, that's the thing. That he played almost his best 11 in the EFL Cup.
So,
Good point. Great point.
It's not a bad move, because you want to get him in form and get him to be sharp, but I wouldn't be too excited over that win. I wouldn't be too excited over the hat-trick,
Right.
So, I don't think there's much to talk about, because of that fact. Like, they're playing such a lower tier team.
Right.
No offense, but you can't make anything out of that win and out of that hat-trick.
And in terms of playing lower tier teams, Tottenham also played a lower team side away.
They did. Barely won.
Have you watched the game?
No, so I watched the Maccabi Haifa game, which is my team in Israel. And because they won, they're going to be playing Tottenham. next round.
Both of your teams.
Which is crazy, and the funny part is that Maccabi Haifa has one midfielder. He's brand new. He's not brand new, but he was loaned last year. Did well. They brought him back in. He scored a goal, and one of the players went on Instagram Live in the locker room after the game. They were celebrating, and the midfielder he said like Harry Kane on my ball or something like that, and now everyone's talking about it. Like it's all over like the Sun and like whatever.
Really?
What is that British like sports?
The
news.
Guardian.
One of those, yeah, and it's now everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, that's
And
insane.
like that's embarrassing for me. I'm like, oh my god, like people hate Israel anyways, and now it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, that's not the smartest comment to make.
Yeah, no, and I bet you he's gonna score a hat trick on I think the game is Thursday.
Well, if he scores a hat trick, that would be a crazy thing for the DJ Barz Derby. Right?
Yeah. It would be nice. I mean, I don't see them winning.
All right.
Well,
So what's your prediction? What's
they-
your prediction on the game?
So this team, if no one knows, they beat Man U a few years ago, 3-0 in the Champions League. So it's a well-known team. They're a good team. Can they beat Tottenham
Away.
away? I don't think it's two. I think it's one leg because of
Correct.
Corona.
Correct.
Again, I don't see them winning. Right? If they get anything besides the 3-0, if they score, I'll be happy. You know. I don't expect anything from that game. I don't think they'll go on. Because if Maccabi Haifa goes on and Tottenham loses, what does that mean for Mourinho?
Yeah.
You know. So, can there be surprises? Yes. Will it be a close game?
So
I hope so.
would that be the worst thing for Tottenham and Mourinho if they're able to focus, let's say, on the league?
So that's one angle. That's one angle. And I would rather Maccabi Haifa focus on the league.
Yeah, right.
Just because it's about time, but I don't see them win. I don't see Maccabi Haifa win. You can't compare the levels. Like your subs for these kind of games are Eric Lamela and
Right.
you know.
Well, even though they had these subs just at this recent EFL game and they still edged it out just
That's what I'm
slightly.
saying. So will it be a blowout? If Harry Kane starts, it might be. Because he didn't start. They played a weird formation.
Right.
On paper, with the 4-3-3 with Dele Alli as a striker, which in real life, what I think, I didn't watch the game, so what I think is that he played a false 9 role,
Right.
which would make sense. Should he be playing that? No, he should be playing a 10. But those are the games that you can try things with your
Exactly.
lower tier players. They don't get the minutes usually. So
Dele
again,
Alli.
yeah, I think there were rumors that they're gonna make a trade with Real Madrid for Bale. That's the reason he wasn't playing lately, but Real Madrid don't want him.
And you see him best as a number 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Or like a Modric role where it's like a center mid, but more attack minded.
More
But-
like a Ramsey kind of.
Uh,
Like an 8 box to box.
yeah, you can see that too. Yeah. But he should be like attack minded.
I remember when he first burst onto the scene, he was looking. I thought he could be one of the best number 8s, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have many number 8s in the world that are able to produce, and he has the physique, right, and the ability to run those distances. So it makes sense.
Mhm.
Especially now for Tottenham, where they have all these forwards, and you're struggling to find a position for him.
Right.
So to say, let's transition to you also to be a forward. Maybe they're saying
that's not the move.
maybe they're saying we're not gonna go out and buy a backup like Milic for Kane. Let's get Dele Alli to become that backup.
But why convert him to a striker where he's so good at what he does? I think
Right.
I think he's very much like Bale in the sense that if you give him the freedom and the mental help and support that he needs, he's gonna do amazing things. You can see the potential there, right? So if you put him as number 10 and let him play freely, but let him control the game, and you support him mentally, and he's in a good, happy mood, just like Bale,
Right.
you can do amazing things.
Yeah.
You know, if he wants to prove himself, you can go to the moon.
Yeah.
But we all know that he's considered lazy.
Right.
If you watch the documentary, Mourinho, you literally told him, "I heard you're lazy. Stop being lazy." Or something of those lines.
Oh
So,
wow.
So I think again he's also pretty young. So
Yes, he's got
we
time.
need to
Got some time.
get him up to par.
Right.
I think he's a great player though.
And talking about getting people up to par, Arteta did quite a job at Arsenal, and they were playing at Leicester away. It's been 5 years since
Yeah.
Arsenal last got a result away at Leicester.
Really?
It's been a very rough time
Wow. I didn't know
since the Alexis situation has derailed. I haven't been able to get results. I think the last win there was a 5-2 win, and that was quite some time back.
that. That was when 14.
Yeah, even
More?
2014, 15, somewhere around that
When
time.
Sanchez was still playing.
Yeah, when Sanchez was still playing and playing at a high level, and yeah. So now they beat them 2-0
We
away.
didn't notice 1-1.
Oh yes. All right, and there might be a penalty now for Everton, so maybe 2-1. But
Okay.
so they got the result, 2-0 away at Leicester City. They have to play Leicester tomorrow away. So if City don't get the result, does that mean that now Arsenal have a shot at doing something this year?
So
What are
like
your
I
thoughts
said
on
last
that?
time, I don't think Leicester will be top 4. I don't see them doing that good this year. I might be wrong,
Right.
but I just don't see. I don't know.
For me, when I was watching them, their left back Catania is a good replacement on Chilwell.
Not good
And
enough though.
Not good enough, but Leicester for me always are able to find these good steals. They make the transfers at reasonable prices
Yeah.
that bring good return on the dollar, and they sell these players for immense value. I mean, Chilwell 50, Maguire 80, Mahrez 60.
Maguire was don't let's not start about that because that was
Maguire, I mean that's
unbelievable.
theft
How
of
is
in
he the
daylight.
most expensive center back I think in the world?
Because look what he could do to a cop. I mean, he's got some
Oh
skills.
my God.
80 million nevertheless. So Leicester is doing really good business. So there's probably a few players that we're not seeing at the moment, which will perform and will increase their ability and
Right,
the results as
right.
the season goes on.
Mhm.
Will then be able to play with these teams like Leicester, etc.
So I don't know. The
Manchester
Premier
City.
League is all about having depth in your squad, because of so many competitions going on in England, right? So if they don't have that, and I don't think they do, they're gonna run. Even if they start off strong, they're gonna just run out of steam. And
Right.
maybe we'll get another coronavirus break. Maybe we won't. I don't know what's gonna happen, but they don't have the depth, and that's a problem.
And that's a good point. I think Leicester is probably replacing a few players away from becoming that more of a full, complete
Right,
squad
right.
when it comes down to being able to support from the bench, because Brighton came on for the Arsenal game and that didn't look so rejuvenating, to say the least.
I think the key is to have a good starting 11, some good backup players, and great full potential like academy players, right?
Yeah.
So you can go in every competition and fill the gaps, and play to your opponent, and and get the results. And they don't have that. You look at Arsenal; they have all these young, talented players, like a Nelson, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't get the minute, but when I saw him in the cup game, he looked amazing.
That shot when he was
He
coming in
looked
from the
amazing.
left
I
side,
could not believe he got that shot off.
right? That
I
was,
could not believe it. I was
for
like,
a second I had to confirm that was Nelson
yeah, I couldn't
and
believe
not
it.
the mirror image of
And
Pepe.
he was loaned last year, right? He was loaned. He played in Germany.
He played in
Is that right?
Germany. What was the team? Not Hoffenheim. Who did he play
Doesn't-
for?
it doesn't matter.
I
That's
think
not
it
the
was
point.
Hoffenheim actually.
What I'm trying to say is that he needs the minutes.
Yeah.
So
100%.
can
100%.
Arteta, keep him happy?
No, not with the current squad. I don't see it.
But Arsenal need him. They need that young player to step in every now and then. 2-1 Everton.
Yeah, they converted on the PK.
But my point is, Arsenal is a great example of that, having that depth, where unlike City, they didn't splash out, right? But they have the good starting 11, the other great players who can come in off the bench, and then the talented academy, younger generation.
Yeah, they're very great. I mean, when you go down the list, you have Reece Nelson.
Yeah.
You have Joe Willock. You have Emil Smith-Rowe. You have Bukayo Saka. Then you got Gabriel Martinelli. And you got a bunch more
Yeah, I know,
younger
I'm
ones
sure.
that aren't getting minutes. And that's
Yeah.
with Reece Nelson not really mentioning him. That's what's putting Kieran Tierney as young but not an academy player.
For me, is
City
the starting 11.
young, not academy yet. Again, those are all of a sudden you see Arsenal becoming a younger, more complete squad.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And if we are on this Arsenal topic, there has been a lot of rumors. There's traction on the award deal.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. It's a done deal.
Yeah, apparently we're gonna. It sounds like there's a little bit of a wiggle room right now, and the difference between the offer and what is desired by Lyon.
Yeah.
From my understanding, was 32 to 36 bid. They're looking for 36 and up, probably with add-ons.
I think it's a great deal.
I think it's an amazing deal. They got to move on it, right? They had to have moved on it probably sooner, but they had to put the pressure on Lyon.
But just so you understand, if you, it seems like you got your man, but that means you're not getting your other guy.
No, I mean,
I think maybe I'm wrong, but
I think that. Okay, so there was probably a big master plan to get both of these players,
right.
even though you have this financial situation. So when you're not able to sell players at a good price, then you're trying to buy them at the cheapest possible price. So how do you go about that when you're pretty much locked up? Because that's what they're doing.
No,
they're pretty much hands tied behind their back.
Right.
Try doing something.
Right.
So when you're not getting any help from the owner, they have to find these innovative, right, but strategic decisions and maneuvers that don't appear to appease the fans whatsoever, right? You waste an entire summer, you don't bring them in. You're gonna be 3-4 games in by the time these guys actually get their medical done.
Yeah.
So they need time to adjust. You're losing some time of the season. You're taking a risk. It could turn out to work out well. You get these players on under 100 mil, which at the beginning of the summer would have been like, what, really?
Yeah.
So personally, I would have been more up to just buying them earlier. I think there's greater value in that. I think it tells the player we're committed to you, and it shows that this team will do what needs to be done to win. So it's easier to get players to re-sign at that point.
Right.
You don't have to offer them as much money and be like, no, just wait, you'll see. You're not saying that. You're like, we're pressing hard on the gas. Like, we're moving and grooving, and that's the way it's got to be.
Right.
So the tactic comes down to, if I bid £45 million for Thomas Partey, now Lyon knows I got money in the bank, and that's going to be very tough to get through. And in order to have enough money to get both of those deals done, you have to sell Torreira. And Atletico want Torreira. So they're putting pressure on Atletico to make a good bid for Torreira. That would give them some money. Also putting pressure on Lyon to drop their price, because they haven't played a game this year since the Corona. So that means no TV, right? No TV revenue other than match day revenue. So they're taking a huge hit. They have to sell. They put out a comment recently, I think 3 days ago, saying Aouar can stay. It's fine with us, but really that's not a realistic proposition. So they may have found themselves the right way to go about it. It probably will come down to, are you able to sell Torreira, and are you able to sell a few more? Once you get enough of that deadwood gone, that should be enough money to buy the two.
You would sell? Because at the beginning of last year, we talked about Torreira, and we were so excited about him.
I'm still excited about him. I think if Arsenal sell, they're going to sell under value.
Yeah.
And the team that they're going to make money on it in months, but
So
that's
you
the issue
wouldn't
with the
sell?
window. I wouldn't sell. If I was Arsenal, if I was the owner, I'd give a loan to the club, tell them, these players you want to sell, start loaning them out. Can you sign them to extensions so you don't have to sell them on, 12 months left on their contracts when they come back from loan?
Yeah.
You got to do smarter business. And that's what Chelsea does with the contracts. They do smarter business on the contracts. And if what I'm about to say happens, it could be even a greater play what Arsenal's doing. So they're playing it as if they're having a big financial situation, and they're showing their cards as if we're not getting Partey, and we'll go after Jorginho as a replacement. So now Chelsea think that they're able to go at Declan Rice. If this is just a smokescreen, then it's good. You're getting Chelsea not focused on improving. They're thinking they have their guy, but they're not moving forward with Plan B. So I think that's the real play here. They're gonna cut the Partey deal right at the last couple of days.
I hope for you.
I mean, I hope
and
so
for me,
too.
because I want to see Partey out of Atletico.
That's the picture that I think can be drawn out of here. Nevertheless, Arteta did make comments on the press conference that you would think we're in for Jorginho. We are likely in for Jorginho if this is not a smokescreen. And
really,
that to me. Xhaka has to be gone. I don't know what the difference between him and Xhaka is.
No, I don't see how he can stay at Arsenal after what happened last year.
And Elneny and Ceballos, too much of the same.
Elneny he has no place in Arsenal.
Well, have you watched him play?
Every now and then when he does play.
I mean, he was on loan for Besiktas for a year last year, and then he's come back. He's played 3 games now.
I don't see. He's been at a club for 3 years.
Well, I think a little more than that. He came from Shakhtar Donetsk. I don't recall. I think.
My
Anyway.
point is, I don't see him adding any value to the team.
Yeah, he's not an exceptional
Besides fill a
player.
role when you're playing a cup game.
And I think that's probably why you would leave a player like that in, because he seems to be fine with accepting that I'll be a role player and fill in the gaps every now and then. You need those kinds of players. It's like a poor man's Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I were in charge, I would sell.
He's committed. I mean, it depends on the price. Personally, I don't think you get enough of a return that you may as well keep a utility player around.
Maybe.
And
You're possibly right.
So to me, that's where I'm kind of going with this transfer window.
Mhm.
Hopefully, Arsenal can put together this plan and really go aggressively at the market, closing a couple of these deals. Because how much longer can we wait? I mean, it's been months and years and years and years with all of these players. We've been scouting both of them for years. It's not a secret, but. Fingers crossed, we get this one through. It's been enough. I mean, I don't want to hear those 2 names until they wear an Arsenal jersey. But when it comes down to the other side of London, still getting deals done. And just had to point this out. We talked a little bit about Jorginho and Chelsea. So we forgot to mention Chilwell last podcast when we were talking about Chelsea's defense heading into the season.
Right. So I think it's a great addition. But again, I say it again a lot. But time will tell.
Time will tell.
We'll see. Because Chelsea's defense was a problem last year.
Right. And now that I'm thinking about it, my favorite player for Chelsea's defense is Azpilicueta. I think he's a winner. He's a leader.
But he's old.
But he's old. So having him and Chilwell on the sides, I think, could be a good combo. And then having Azpilicueta and Thiago Silva could be what throws the defense off balance and becomes a little too slow. So maybe they'll go into a three in the back.
I don't see Frank Lampard playing the 3.
Yeah, I think
I
he
don't see
really wants
that
a 4-3-3.
happening.
I agree with you on that.
I don't know. It could possibly be, but I don't see a reason why. Because I mean,
their defense.
You play. Who are the center backs?
Zuma, Christensen, and Rudiger. They're trying to get rid of Rudiger.
Yeah,
and
so
Tomori. People are trying to buy Tomori. I think Everton.
Tomori is a great young player.
Yeah.
I would never sell him. Also Reece James, I think that's his name.
Reece James, the right back.
Yeah, great young player. I wouldn't sell him, but I would start with Thiago Silva and Zuma. Those would be my starting center backs.
Yeah, I agree.
And then whatever you do with Azpilicueta and Chilwell is a whole other story. Maybe try to convert one to the right side.
No, they're both. Azpilicueta doesn't he play on the right side?
Does he?
I think so.
Okay,
Azpilicueta plays on the right side. Chilwell plays on the left.
Oh.
Reece James.
So it works out.
Yeah. Reece James is instead of Azpilicueta, I believe, on the right side.
So that would be my back four.
Yeah. Because their left back is Marcus Alonso.
Right. So that would be my back four.
Which would be interesting, and with Conte on top of that, maybe that could work.
They also have a lot of depth in the midfield. You have Conte, you have Jorginho, you have Kovacic.
I think they're a make it or break it. It's like, do they show up today or will they not? And it's going to be an interesting season for Chelsea.
Conte has to start, right? Every game.
I don't get it. I don't get why he isn't.
He should.
He should.
And besides, if I was Frank Lampard, I'd put Kovacic.
Yeah.
Then in front of them, I'd put Kai Havertz. Then your 3 attackers would be Pulisic when he's not injured. Werner. Yeah. And who's in the right?
Well, you got Hakim Ziyech. They bought him, so they're probably looking to play him.
Right now, right?
You got Hudson-Odoi. You got Mason Mount. Who else you could play out there on the wing?
I think Mason Mount does a lot off the bench. He reminds me a lot of Asensio. That sometimes he's good off the bench. He brings a lot of energy in.
Yes.
But sometimes when he starts, it's like very
lethargic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he seems to be not the most. Let's go, you know.
I just think because of competition, he's better off just coming off the bench, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. He's still young. don't give him the pressure of starting. I think that's totally fine. I mean, now the Pulisic is injured. I think, if I'm not wrong.
Again, right? Second injury
Yeah.
since that one.
Yeah. Also both Pulisic and Ziyech, they're both injured.
It's gonna be a strange one. I mean, when you look at that lineup, Pulisic, Ziyech, Kovacic, and Kante, they're all under 5'9", I believe.
Under what?
All under 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
So that's not a strong or big formation at all.
Hey, I'm 5'6". Don't talk about shorter guys like that.
No, I mean I'm pretty much right around there. I'm 5'8", but it's never about the height. It's
I'm
about your
joking,
tenacity, right? But
Yeah.
you're never gonna have Kovacic beat taller players for a header. It's not gonna happen.
Right, but I
He's
don't,
not
I
that
don't think
aggressive.
he's meant to do that, really.
But when you're one of the two anchors in the middle, supporting four intensively attack, and Kovacic is an attacking player. He's an attacking-minded player.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't say that.
So what is he, left
I
or
think
right?
I think he's. I mean, he plays a 50-50 kind of player, and I think he's more defensive than offensive.
Okay.
I think his stronger aspect is being like
Defensive
a tank.
side?
No, it's defensive.
The defensive side.
Yeah,
that's
being a
what-
tank, stealing the balls,
Really?
intercepting the ball. Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember one year,
Interesting.
Zizou played him in the Clasico, and until he made an error, he locked Messi down perfectly. Until he got caught between it was him versus two players, who you guarding. That's a different topic, but he can do these jobs.
Okay, I mean, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of him defensively. I think he's great moving the ball. He's very sound, and probably a poor man's Thiago Alcantara.
Okay, I can see that.
Right? Like,
Even though I think Thiago is a little more offensive minded, he can bring
passing
more
is
to the
passing.
attack than Kovacic can. But I can see that.
Have you heard what happened with his transfer?
Who?
Thiago Alcantara.
No.
So it's actually a pretty interesting story, and Fabrizio Romano kind of covered it very well and gave a lot of the insight as to what happened there. So apparently it's been 5 months ongoing where Klopp has been in communication with
Yeah.
Thiago,
I mean, I can see that. 'Cause
trying to convince
the
him.
rumors have been around for a while.
Yeah, they have been around for a while. He's been going really, really hard at it. He really wanted him, so he's coming in to play. He's coming
Yeah.
in to start.
Of course, 100%.
There's a big plan around this guy. And
Listen, their Liverpool's midfield is, even though they've been performing well, it's not that prestigious.
No, but a midfielder that gets the job done is the midfield you need.
Mm-hmm. Right.
As
Right.
prestigious, it's all about getting the job done.
No, but I'm saying if they could improve anywhere, it will be center back and the midfield.
So maybe.
And maybe the striker position if some people don't like Firmino.
So how about this?
But-
Let's look at it at the Thiago Alcantara situation in two different ways.
Okay.
One way would be he's very talented. He brings something Liverpool don't have to the table,
Right.
and we can see him playing in the format, and it could be amazing football. But maybe he's going to be that good that it's another position that's locked down with Fabinho in there, and Henderson's your captain. So will Keita, will Chamberlain, will the rest of the players looking to get time in the middle be okay saying 1, 2, 3 locked?
Yeah. I think they will get their minutes in the cup games, in the easy Champions League games, but it's going to be a problem with them.
Do you think that it
Because
could have?
Oxlade-Chamberlain is not going to get his minutes now.
No, he's not.
And they have a young Japanese player, if I'm not wrong.
Minamino.
He's not going to get his minutes now.
Well, he's more attacking. He could play on the wings. They like to play on.
Oh,
the
he plays as a winger?
Yeah. I think they sub him in for Salah every now and then,
Oh, really?
and maybe even Firmino and kind of play that.
Okay,
little
interesting. I didn't
false.
know that. Interesting.
Yeah, and not as much as other players not getting minutes. My point is, will there be a locker room issue? Because with Liverpool,
Yeah.
you say they came away with a lot of results last season because of their drive,
Right.
their effort, and everything that they produced in the game. Not so much.
Right. No, you're 100% right. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, again, I don't think they're looking that great so far.
Yeah.
But, again, only time will tell.
I mean, not so great so far, but that's something we also touched upon last time. And that's where my point really comes down to. Liverpool didn't look so great last year, but they managed to come away with it.
Right.
They're looking not so great now, but they made a move that could jeopardize their locker room.
Right.
And so I'm wondering if this decision is really the best one.
I don't know. I mean, I would bring him in. I don't blame Klopp for wanting that kind of player, but
Right.
how's it gonna affect your team? Like the perfect example of locker room is in the NBA, the Celtics, Boston Celtics last year with Kyrie Irving.
Irving.
Point is, he was terrible for the locker room. The entire year he was saying, "Oh, I'm leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I'm leaving." He ruined the locker room. The team didn't make it that far. When he wasn't playing, when he was injured the year before that, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Right. He was playing a year later, lost in semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Now you have Kemba Walker, who was very similar to Kyrie, but he's a good locker room personality, and they look like a happy team. They're playing well. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals now, and I'm just saying the locker room can be a really big deal.
Is your point that it's now going to come down to Thiago Alcantara's attitude and mentality, how this situation
What I'm
turns
trying to
out?
say is that the locker room drama can be the make it or break it. Like,
Right.
if he's bad for the locker room, they're going to lose. And the locker room thing is such a big intangible no one really talks about nowadays. But just like having a coach like Zidane or Arteta, that intangible of having the players respect you and adore who you are and admire you can go a long way.
Yeah.
You know, when you're willing to die for your coach, I think that's when you succeed, no matter what happens, no matter how good you really are. So if you have that drive and you're willing to take a bullet for this person, for your coach, it's going to take you a long way.
So what happens when you have a player who's willing to take a bullet for you, but then you say, I don't want you, you can go to Atletico Madrid? So Suarez and that situation.
So let me give you a different situation.
Right.
What if you wake up on a beautiful Saturday morning, right? Barcelona just came off a good season. They're the champions of Spain, and you see a headline: Florentino Perez terminates Benzema's contract. Sergio Ramos yells at Florentino Perez. How do you feel?
I mean, you pretty much know. It's clear cut. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
Why
make
would you do
sense.
that?
I can't believe. As much as I hate Barcelona, I can't believe what's going on. I cannot believe it. I cannot, and I'm not even laughing at it anymore. I wouldn't cheer about what's going on. I'm not one of these. Like, it's not funny.
Right.
You know.
It's very sad to see how power and politics makes, it does that to
Yeah,
people.
you know, throughout the years.
Bartomeu.
Throughout the years, you know, us and most of our friend groups, they're all Barcelona fans. I'm one of the only Real Madrid fans, and you guys
Right.
always told me like, "Oh, you don't know how to treat legends," and you guys were always right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think Perez has evolved and learned from his mistakes.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, on Barcelona, it's the other way around.
Well, I wouldn't say it's Barcelona, right? It's Bartomeu.
No, I said in Barcelona.
Right, but then that.
Right. No,
So
I
you-
agree.
So you look at it, Barcelona, the body in itself, is right now being controlled by a president that gets voted on.
if you had a company
Right.
that did something like unethical,
Fire the leader.
so you would say, oh, this company, right? You're not necessarily going to point out this person, even though that's his fault, right? So that's what I was saying. That's why I said in
Right.
Barcelona. But yeah, I mean, I heard they're going to have what's it called? They're going to force a re-election or something like that.
They wanted to force a re-election to get Font in, who would have brought in Xavi.
But
And now, the
yeah.
fact that they're not doing it tells Messi, alright, this is another year. We're just going to try to, throw some more pasta on the wall, and maybe this plan will work.
But doesn't his
it's-
contract end next year?
his
Like
contract
this,
ends
like
next year.
his last 12 months is now.
So what happened was he should have had a clause to leave. He had a clause
He
to
had
leave
a
after
clause
June.
that expired in
June.
June.
June, July. It was for 30 days, starting in about June or whatever.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 30 days as for the start,
Mhm.
or as the last season ends, as per the regular season, as commenced in the contract.
Yeah.
But because of the coronavirus, there were changes to the contract
Of course.
that now makes this a very problematic situation. So this phase, the entire phase of where he should be able to leave for free, was meant to be at the end of the season, after the final game set, and now you're not going to create a big news story around your team while you're trying to finalize, championships. So that's not the idea. The idea wasn't for him to leave on a free as they're competing. But that's what
I
he
know,
would have
yeah.
had to happen with that situation. So the disrespect from the top brought the whole situation on its face.
Yeah.
So that's the leadership again. It's Bartomeu. Once he comes out, I think it'll be different. I said throughout the whole era that Messi's gonna stay. For me, he is the club. Messi is the club. Messi wants it. The fans will drive it home. You know what I mean? Like the fans have. When will you get a player like Messi?
Mm-hmm.
You won't. And they want to go and they want to see him. And if they see that it's because of leadership, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna make their voices heard.
So I heard that it's not as simple as it sounds, and if you're an owner and your club is in a deficit, if it's not like profitable, he has to basically pay out the club. So if he doesn't have the means to pay out the club, I don't think he can step down.
But he's not an owner. He's a president. He's a voted president.
That's what I heard. I don't know. I didn't dig deep into it. That's what I heard, that until, like, if he can't fill the gap financially, he can't step down.
Right.
That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is. I just don't think it's as simple as we think. Like, I think it has more complications into it.
I think
when you're in charge of such a big organization.
Likely, there's a lot of ego, right?
I'm sure.
I'm not gonna leave. Whatever.
I'm sure there's a lot of ego.
So what Messi's doing, you're not gonna leave? All right. Making sure that nobody will vote for you, because everybody that votes for you is a vote against Messi staying, and that's not gonna happen.
I'll tell you what. I think that your biggest problem is Messi, and why I'm saying that is because he's so good that no matter how you guys play, you guys always have that advantage over any team because of Messi. But as soon as when he leaves, if it leaves, I think the club would realize, like, oh my God, we're very unbalanced. What do we do now?
There probably is some of that, even though Barcelona, to me personally, seems to be a club at the moment. They are centered around Messi, but the impact is that all these players are now looking at the field like, where's Messi, where's Messi, where's Messi? That's their first thought, instead of, where's the right pass, where's the right pass? How can I score? How can I make the right decision? Yeah. So there are different things that are taken into account when Messi's on the field. So there could be more of that weight lifted off of your shoulders when Messi leaves. Nevertheless, I doubt that happens. A player like Messi is somebody you would always want to stay.
Right.
I think Sergio Roberto, De Jong, and Riqui Puig are players that combine exceptionally well with Messi on the field.
Coleman wants him out.
Coleman, he's not going to stay for more than a year, so that's okay.
But if they end up selling,
they're not going to sell. They're not going to sell Riqui Puig. They sell Riqui Puig, that'll be a big issue at the club.
They want him out for this season at least.
No, they want to loan him. They want him to get game time, which makes sense.
I don't think it makes sense.
No, I think it makes actually complete sense, because you have Dembele, you have Coutinho, you have Griezmann, you have an overload of these players that will come down to midfield.
The quote from Coleman was, "I don't want you. I don't see you as a part of my plan." Now, does that mean I like you as a player? I want you to win minutes. You want to go? Why don't you go out on loan?
But you have to understand, a player like him is a young player you're developing. He's not in there to develop. He has to win everything. Even if he wins everything, there's a good chance he's out. So he has to be all guns blazing. Every top player I have.
Who would you play instead of him?
Coutinho. Why would you not play Coutinho? How can you play? Hold on, listen to me. You paid $140 million for him. If you start a youth academy player at 20 years old over him every game, nobody will pay you more than a dime.
But why do they overlap? I don't think they overlap.
What was that?
I don't think they overlap.
How you can't play Riqui Puig, you can't play Coutinho, Griezmann, and Messi at the same line. It's not gonna happen.
Well, now that Suarez is gone, Griezmann will play striker, right?
Okay.
So would you have on your left wing?
Coutinho.
Exactly.
But you can't play Messi, Coutinho, and Riqui Puig.
No, but I'm saying Riqui Puig, he doesn't have to start. He can come off the bench.
I think Trincao is a player that's starting right now, and I think you want more attacking players. You want more goal scoring.
But why not have
hold on. You saw last year who's the only player that scored over 10 goals? Messi. So you need goals from the midfield. You're gonna bring Coutinho to the midfield. That's what Coleman's gonna do.
No problem. Period. But why not have him in your squad?
That's his tactics.
You have the cup games,
that's
right?
His tactics.
You need
that's
him
what
for the cup games.
Bartomeu wanted a coach that's gonna do everything possible just to win this year. So if that means loaning out Puig, so you can give the game time to these overhyped players, it is what it is, because you're gonna have to sell them. Their stock has to rise. They have to come off of your bill if you want to give all these players playing time. If Riqui Puig is to get the playing time he deserves at Barcelona, you have to find a way to get these
So
players
you want
out.
to keep him as a sub?
I would love to keep him as a sub. I
So,
think personally
I think that's perfect.
you would, but
Right.
that's not how the club is run. Right now, they're focused on giving every possible minute to these players that they want to sell.
So you agree with it or no?
I don't agree with it whatsoever.
Okay. Fine.
But I can see the reasoning for it. I could see the thinking behind it. And it makes a little bit of sense. I would prefer him to get the game time in Barcelona, right? Because he works so well with Messi.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's the lineup right there. De Jong in the middle, to the left, to the right, Sergio Roberto, to the left, Ricky Puig.
Yeah.
For me, that's as solid a three. They communicate well between themselves in terms of their footballing knowledge, in terms of everything they do.
Yeah.
I think that's a great trio.
Listen, I don't know if the quote is real, but if you want a player to go on loan to gain minutes, you don't tell him you're not part of my plans. That's something you tell a player when
Hold on. Where did you hear that?
all over.
Who out of whose mouth did you hear that Coleman told Ricky Puig,
I've
I don't
read
want
it.
you
I don't know.
You've
if
read
that
it,
person.
but
yes, I don't know if it's true.
exactly.
But if it is, then I don't know. I think it's a big mistake.
Everybody knows right now that Barcelona fans are very fragile when it comes to this. You throw them a little, you kind of throw a little fuel on the fire, and they're berserk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what is getting you the clicks. So it is what it is. You got these publications that care about the clicks.
I hope for you that it's not true.
Yeah.
Because that would be an incredibly stupid move. But
I mean, honestly, the more that they're gonna push Puig out, the more I'd rather Arteta push hard for him. So I'm fine. You know what I mean?
All right, there you
You go bring this guy in. This guy is, for me, I think he's one of the best center mids that can move the ball in that way that Barcelona seen since Xavi and Iniesta.
Mm-hmm.
Is great potential.
Yeah, I agree.
So if we're talking about La Liga, our next thing that I have here is I wanted to talk a little bit about some predictions for the upcoming games. And we're also going to be sending out on our Instagram page little bits of posts to get some of your feedbacks and stories, so keep up to date, and we want to see who you think is going to win. Just pick your winner, and if you think the game is going to be an intense game, not so much an intense game, and give us some feedback. Because we have a lot of thought, a lot of ideas. Betis, Real Madrid.
It's going to be a hard one.
Let me prefix this. So Real Betis has been a problem child for Real Madrid.
Yeah, it has.
I think in the past 3 years, they came away with 4 wins. 2 at home, 2 away. And most recently a 3-2 win away at Madrid last season.
Yeah.
What are you expecting at Betis?
It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be, played to the 90th minute.
We're going to take down these predictions and we'll get back to you. And we'll see who wins.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to predict that we win just because I'm biased.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a rough game. It's going to be a 1 goal difference, that's for sure. So if it's a 2-1 or a 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
They haven't had a 1-0 result. I think they had a 1-0 result in their past 8 games. Everything else has been 2 goals plus.
That's what I'm saying, because I think we have a big problem in offense. I think our defense is good, and I think our Courtois is amazing. If we can hold that clean sheet and then get that last minute goal or something around like that. Because I always hate when we score early, because that's when I know, like, oh shit.
So I got you down for a 1-0 win, Real Madrid away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to go 3-1 Betis.
3-1 Betis.
3-1 Betis. I think Real Madrid not looking so great after that draw, and Betis being a real boogeyman over the past couple years, and probably that's when they'll hit home. I have a feeling about this game. Maybe I'm wrong, hoping for you that I'm wrong, but that's the prediction I got heading in.
It's gonna be a tough game, There was rumors that Odegaard has corona, but he doesn't. So did that affect Zidane's game plan? I mean, I don't think so. I don't know. Is he gonna try to play a 2-striker formation? There's rumors that he's gonna try that. I don't see it happening. Because Zidane always has a joker. In every lineup, there's one player who you did not expect to start. Would I like to see Jovic play? Yes. Instead of Benzema? Possibly. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think the team will win. It's a great team. I think I don't know if you watched it, the Real Madrid game, but I think they played well. Offensively, they weren't on point. They weren't sharp. That's I agree, and that's been a problem last year and the year before that. But overall, I think they look good. Courtois had an amazing save.
Right.
And I think it's more of their offense. I think that's the problem.
Vinicius, can you explain Vinicius?
I love him.
For a year, you're having problems in the final third connecting.
I love this player.
But
I don't care. I know you don't like him, but I love this player.
But nothing ever connects for him in the final third.
I don't agree. I think he's you're putting him in the shoes of Ronaldo, in the shoes of Hazard. Like, you can't expect anyone to do the same job. And I think for what he brings to the table, I think he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, and he does a great job.
I think Rodrigo is a better talent.
I don't think he's better, but I think he's equally as good, and they don't overlap. So they don't come, like, you can't have them both play. And if you look at the game, he wasn't that much better than Vinicius in the game.
Is a Vinicius a good crosser of the ball?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't want him to cross it.
Is he a good scorer of the ball?
I think he's decent. He's not great. I think he's okay.
Is he a good passer of the ball?
I think he's getting better.
So these are important things in the final third. So
but
nothing there.
But what
is
he's good at dribbling.
But hold on.
Right?
Yeah,
his one-on-one is amazing.
You called last time Traore, right? Just a guy with speed and strength.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't this guy just a guy with speed and strength who can dribble, can pass?
You can see what he does. He's very different from Traore. Traore can go just like me as a player. We can go one direction.
But to me, that's what I see. Vinicius going one direction, going at defenders when there's no space.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I saw him score that goal versus Barcelona in the Clásico. I was there.
But it's that goal. It's not consistent.
I mean, I'd take that goal any year.
But you can't. If you're playing this guy 38 games out of 38 games, you're bound to half of them not see a thing from him.
So he starts because of Hazard. Because if Hazard,
right.
if Hazard was healthy, he's the sub, right? So I'm totally fine with that.
When is Hazard playing? When's he performing?
I'd rather wait until he's perfectly healthy. Not like last year where he played injured in the second leg. Stupid move.
Right.
What's the scary part is that's a Bale thing, to play injured, you know, and then make your injury worse. Will it be a bluff? It's possible. It's a very scary thought for me, but it's possible, and it is what it is. Our big dog is coming next summer.
Yeah.
That's what's important. The big dog is coming next summer, and that's all I'm waiting for. I think he's gonna be the guy, not Hazard. I think Hazard. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. I think Mbappe is gonna be the top notch, the Ronaldo status type of player.
I think he's a notch below, more on that Neymar level than Ronaldo level. For me,
I hope you're wrong, because Neymar is the worst example of soccer.
For his mentality, and you've watched Ronaldo for long enough.
Yeah.
Ronaldo has a very, 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 very strong mental. Like, he could go down 3-0 and fight to win it and bring the result. I don't get that feeling from Mbappe. To me, his approach to the game when things go wrong is more so as the Neymar approach than it is the Ronaldo approach.
Right, and I think the move will help him get to that top.
So that's actually coming to the point I made about Silva at City. These teams are buying players thinking, I'll bring such quality, even though their attitude is not up to par. I'll correct it. We'll correct it. We can. Our culture will subside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you look back at Neymar, when he came to Barcelona, he looked to be like the next thing, right?
Or the attitude.
And his first season, he was amazing. He scored on us, I think, in the Clásico. So I don't think you went into his purchase and said, "Oh my God, this guy has a mental problem." I'm a little, because no one thought about that, right?
Mm.
I don't know what happened. You know, I'm not a Barca fan. I don't know what happened in the middle, but his attitude tweaked a little during his time in Barcelona. It seems like to me. I think that Mbappe's move to PSG, it wasn't like he thought it would be. He didn't realize that he's going to be locked down. I don't think he realized that he can't leave when he really wants. And I think I understand the move. He didn't want to move at such a young age to Real Madrid because it's pressure. I mean, Real Madrid backed out because of financial reasons at the end, but I think his will to wait and come in as a more established player, and not as a young possible substitute player. I can understand that.
For Mbappe coming to Real.
For Mbappe not going to Real the
Not
first
going
time.
to Real first.
Yeah, I can understand that. You want to build your repertoire, gain the experience. So when you come to Real Madrid, you're a star, you're a starter, and people are coming.
Right.
So you,
I agree that was the right decision for him. Because making that jump to the big, their lineup was a little too strong for him
too
to
stacked.
get
Yeah,
any
Ronaldo
minutes.
back then, it was too stacked.
And Isco wasn't getting playing time. Player like Isco not getting playing time. And
Yeah.
Asensio and all these talents.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't. I understood why he didn't come at then, but I think what broke the camel's back was just Real Madrid not wanting to pay that money.
Yeah.
Is that a mistake? I don't know, because rumors says that since he's not extending his contract, you're gonna have to sell for like less than 100 this summer. Because if
They're
not
not
next
selling
summer,
this
next summer he becomes a free agent.
We'll see. I think that PSG, PSG won't take such a big loss. There is probably something in the cards that they're doing.
I mean,
There's probably a
100
2-year
million is
extension
not
in the
such a
cards.
big loss. You know, it's not that big of a loss.
Not such a big loss.
Because
but-
you got to look at the whole Corona pandemic and how it affected the market.
No, it's certainly they're probably looking at it, and we're
I think.
all right. So if we don't get 100 million for him and he goes for free, but we keep him, we win the league, we get higher up in the Champions League, we sell more T-shirts, we make that revenue back.
They'll win the league because there's not that much competition. They'll win the league every year.
No, have you seen it? Since and before their players came back from injury or from the break, being Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, right now they're sitting like 8th in the table.
Right now.
Right now they're sitting 8th in the table.
How many games have been played?
Lost first 2 games, won the next 2. Lille won.
Yeah, but
3 tied 2.
But who do they play with? Player wise.
Um,
No, don't look at it like that. You know,
Well-
it's still fairly early.
well, half of those players on the squad were players who were at the Champions League final, so I'm expecting
Oh,
a
in
little
the
more
squad?
than that. Or,
They play?
They played half.
Don't they
half.
have to give him time off?
They gave some time off, some less, because some weren't starters, some played less. I think there's
Okay.
probably some balance
Mhm.
within there, because you can't
Yeah, no.
let everybody go.
It's gonna be interesting,
It's
but
gonna
I
be
don't see
interesting.
them not winning the league.
Yeah,
Right.
they're
I don't
pretty-
see them not winning.
La Liga is always a question, though. So
Yeah, league is always interesting.
on the other side, we said Madrid. You have 1-0 Madrid. I got 3-1 Betis.
Okay.
Barcelona Villarreal. It's at the Camp Nou.
I don't see
We'll go a
Barcelona
little
losing.
quick fire here.
I don't see Barcelona losing. I say 3-1 Barcelona.
3-1. I'm actually going to go more conservative here. I feel it's going to be a 2-1. They're still coming into form when it's with what's his face, with Coleman's tactics.
I think he's a terrible pick as a coach because
Well, he actually turned the Netherlands around.
yeah,
so
that is
not-
true. But in
not
England
the
he was a
worst.
failure.
In England, he didn't do so well. I mean, Ancelotti's getting more backing than I think he did when he was there.
Well, wasn't he also coach at Crystal Palace at some point?
Maybe. I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. But to the point, he's performing right now against Villarreal. It's at home. There has been a lot of turmoil. I don't think they will be as ready for it as you would expect the Barcelona team to be.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-1. I think Villarreal had a good season last year too. So
They had a decent season.
Decent season,
Corona
yeah.
happened, and then they sort of lost their momentum.
right. And Santi Cazorla played for them. I don't think he plays
Yeah.
anymore. But wow, what a story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to the Premier League. So we got these results. I have a
Mhm.
feeling I'm doing pretty well in the results. But let's see. So first game is it's not a big ticket game for me. I can't wait to watch this game. It's last year's promoted team who did so well against this year's promoted
Mhm.
team, who's looking an incredible side, an exciting side, very fast paced. Sheffield United is hosting Leeds. Thoughts?
I say Leeds take it home.
Take it home.
Yeah.
What's the score for you?
That's a good one.
Leeds, Sheffield, at Sheffield. Sheffield has been a really good defensive
I don't know why,
side.
but I have a feeling it's gonna be a high score game.
High scoring.
High
Another
scoring
one.
game.
Back to back. Because keep in mind, lost to Liverpool 4-3,
Yeah.
being Leeds. And then again, beating 4-3. Who was it?
I can't remember.
Who would they play? No, I'll find in a second. I got this thing ready. I was last time, we're a little slow on getting these scores in. Fulham, 4-3. It was the promoted side
Yeah,
game.
I feel like it's gonna be another 6. I think it's gonna be a 5-goal game.
5-goal game. So
Uh,
3-2?
3-2 leads. Yeah.
3-2 leads. I'm actually going to go more conservative here again, but 2-1 leads. I think they're going to squeeze out right at the end.
Yeah.
They're going to get it right at the end. I think Sheffield is a really good defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown that. I mean, to get into the top 10 after being promoted, there's a lot of money. So these teams have been really improving and building on what they have already in the Premier League. So to get there that quickly is intense.
Yeah.
It's
I
intense.
totally agree.
So, next game.
Okay.
And your team hosting Newcastle. It's going to be
I'll say-
Magpies against the Spurs.
I say 2-0 Spurs.
2-0 Spurs. All right. I mean, I'd love to see Newcastle pull one here.
I don't see Newcastle doing anything.
I don't see Newcastle.
Which is unfortunate because they were in a break. They were almost like bought out, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm actually going to go. Not as conservative. I'm going to go 3-0 Tottenham.
3-0.
You know, I'd rather say 1-0 Newcastle,
Yeah.
but Kane and Son are
Yeah.
clicking right
amazing.
now.
Yeah.
So-
They're ticking.
So I'm going to have to give credit where credit's due.
Mhm.
It's going to be 3-0 Tottenham on the day, but form is temporary, class is permanent. And we saw them against Everton. So, next game, we got Leicester. Leicester hosting Manchester City. That's going to be that game. What are we
It's been a
thinking?
good game.
Mahrez going back, playing against the old Foxes.
Yeah. Is Vardy playing?
Vardy's playing. Vardy was actually left out entirely of the squad against
I can
the
see
Arsenal game.
2-1 City.
You can see 2-1 City?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not
Because
so
City's
good,
not
but-
explosive yet.
Right.
But and Vardy being Vardy, you can squeeze a goal.
That's true.
And now Jesus is injured. Aguero's not back yet. It could be actually a difficult one for City.
It could be. And
'Cause who's the other striker?
who's the other striker for City?
Yeah.
I mean,
No Aguero, no Jesus.
no Aguero, no Jesus.
You're gonna have to play
you
like a
could play. No, you could play De Bruyne as a false nine. He's
Yeah.
tried that. You could play Sterling.
Foden as a false nine.
Foden as a false nine. I mean, ideally, you probably want to play too aggressive. Maybe find a good partner. I mean, who could they partner with Sterling? Because they have a lot
Who
of
can
options.
they have? Mahrez. They have Torres.
Let me open their squad up real quick. I want to see their full list because I imagine they definitely have. They must have a player young and ready to step up there. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Liam Delap. Yeah, they're having a little bit of issues. Okay, so maybe we'll see like Ferran Torres.
I think we'll see Foden. Foden as a false nine. And then Mahrez starting on the right.
Mahrez and then Sterling coming in, being aggressive from the sides.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe even Torres. I think Torres is a little more of a winger from the
Yeah,
around,
so
coming
that's what I'm saying.
around.
So I don't know. I don't think he can fill that gap in the middle, but I think he can probably
Right.
sub in for Mahrez at some point.
Right. Yeah, good shot. I mean, they have a lot of incredibly technical players, so they should be able to cope
Listen,
with.
Pep
with
can
that
move the players around and they'll do just fine. Pep is, again, like I said in the last episode, he's a great coach. The players respect him, and he's very tactical. So he'll be able to find a way to make it work.
I don't know what to say here, honestly. Like, they're not City playing without their two key forwards. Very shaky on defense. They are ready to give up goals. When Leicester smells blood, they're not foxes, they're sharks. So I think that's
But
what's
they just haven't
what you'll
been.
see.
They just haven't been that. They don't have that extra, the it factor. Not yet.
I think so. I love Barnes in the middle. I love
Yeah.
Perez.
Yeah, but
Tielemans. Oh, I
Great
cannot say
player.
enough great things about
and
some of their pickups.
how about the other
Incredible.
Belgian guy,
Incredible
the
pickups.
dunker?
Praet, Dennis Praet.
Him too.
I think both came from Anderlecht. Praet and,
Yeah. Oh,
and
maybe the
Tielemans.
dunker plays for Wolves. Maybe.
Donker. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think so. Yeah.
Mhm.
But in terms of this one, I got 3-1 Leicester.
Leicester.
3-1 Leicester.
Wow.
I think they're gonna break them. City will get one here and
Just
there.
remember, being at home doesn't mean anything anymore.
It does not mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Liverpool, Arsenal.
I mean, I have a hopeful score, and I have my realistic score.
Right.
My optimistic
Get your
score is a 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal.
But I know the Arsenal have David Luiz in the middle. That's a center back.
But actually, he plays very well when he's a center of a 3.
Yeah.
He's very well.
I wouldn't say very well. I would say he's decent.
He plays very well enough to beat Liverpool twice.
That's what I'm saying. That's my optimistic.
But keep in mind, first game at the Emirates, second game at Wembley. Hasn't yet been in Anfield, and
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. There's no fans. It's not that
there's
big
no
of a deal
fans. That's
anymore.
right. So what are your thoughts? 1-3.
So optimistic
See?
3-1 Arsenal, realistic 2-1 Liverpool. Because I don't see Arsenal being scoreless. Let's start off with that. I don't see either team being scoreless. Because they're both worth a goal at least. Now, Liverpool hasn't been looking great. Arsenal is looking pretty good. I'd like to see Arsenal win this one.
Yeah. I mean, 3-1 would be lovely.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I'd be going up and down. It's crazy. Guys, gals, I think this is going to be
It's gonna be a great weekend.
not only a great weekend. I think Arsenal will finally bring us something we've been looking for.
I hope for you. I mean, I told you my prediction for Liverpool is to go third.
You know how it goes.
So I want to be correct.
Right?
So
you know how it goes to the Arsenal 1-0, and that's what I'm going for. I think Arsenal will
1-0.
get the shutout here.
1-0.
I think it's going to be at Anfield. It's going to be 1-0 to the Arsenal.
You don't see the great Pharaoh scoring a goal, PK, penalty kick.
The who?
The great Pharaoh.
Salah? I couldn't care less about it. I think he's going to probably disrupt Liverpool's flow in the final third more so than anything else.
Maybe
like
we'll
he
see
usually does.
some Jota action.
Maybe we'll see some Jota action. But the only thing I'm scared about, Mane. The only thing I'm scared about is Mane coming down from
And Thiago.
Hector. Come on, Hector. Let me see something.
You think he starts? With a 3 in the back formation, he starts?
He's gonna start because we played Maitland-Niles on the right side against Leicester. He's gonna be starting.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you saw Maitland-Niles get a little bit caught on the side with flat-footed.
Yeah, but how
so you
does
don't want
Hector
that to happen against
Bellerin?
Mane.
How does he play? And I don't know this in the 3 in the back formation when he plays a little more, you know.
He leaves the right center back exposed. Yeah. Don't worry about that. He leaves it exposed.
I think Niles
Remember, I was talking about the transition.
is better in a 3 in the back formation.
Yeah, because he's got more cover. Yeah. He's not as fast as he used to be. You know, he's gotta continue that that momentum. Hopefully he keeps it up because we did play against Liverpool twice. He did play. We did win. So he definitely can put in a result. Put in
Again,
a
I
great
really
performance.
hope Liverpool wins this game.
I hope so too. And on that note,
listen, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any comment with anything you might want to ask us, bring up with us.
let us hear it.
And we
Let us hear
can
it.
answer your questions in the next podcast.
Amen. Whatever you want, we'll give you all the answers.
We'll take care of it.
Just shoot us over the questions. You know, we got a lot of interesting stuff coming.
Yeah,
some special guests. And if you want, give us a special team that you guys like.
And we'll cover it, and we'll give our synopsis of the team. And
we did it today, mostly Arsenal, Tottenham.
yeah, we went through 3 leagues basically. So
Yeah.
we gotta cover Italy, and then we'll be good.
Best way to go, guys. Best way, free flow and convo, getting the details out to you.
Yeah.
And do a little bit of Everton breakdown. I'm feeling Everton.
Yeah, I love seeing them. I mean, it's still one
Leeds.
now.
Maybe that's what we should do. We'll take a bunch of these teams that are making great strides, playing nice football, and we'll talk about the transitions, the changes they've made financially, footballing wise.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned, guys. We're gonna bring you a lot more coming soon.
For sure.
Like, comment,
Subscribe.
See you soon.